Topping today's news, repatriation exercises to Haiti expected to continue. We get the latest on major roadworks still ongoing around the country, tourism numbers rebounding after bad press following recent U.S. and Canadian travel advisories, and the Youth Peace March and Rally set for tomorrow starting at 10 a.m. Clifford Park. Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Jarino Saunders. This is your JCN Evening News, and it is a pleasure to have you join us. Leaders of CARICOM countries, including Prime Minister Philip Davis, were a part of a virtual discussion on Wednesday regarding the violence and social unrest in Haiti, with those talks expected to continue today as they look to establish a transitional presidential council that will lead to restoring law and order in Haiti. This according to Keishla Adderley, acting press secretary in the office of the Prime Minister. She also noted that officials are working on a contingency plan to resume repatriation exercises to Haiti by sea after several groups of migrants were apprehended in recent days.
Due to those apprehensions, some 150-odd Haitian migrants are being detained in Inagua, another 100 of them here in New Providence. Now, the consideration is for those 100 migrants who are here in New Providence to be transported to Inagua. And that entire group, it is being considered, will be taken by boat to Cape Haitian. And let me hasten to say that the transport of those groups is, of course, contingent on the safety of conditions on the ground. Nothing will move if it is deemed that there is a security risk that may pose some danger to members of the Royal Bahamas Defense Force who would be responsible for transporting that group.
Again, local officials are trying to find alternative ways to carry out repatriation exercises since flights into Haiti have been canceled due to sustained attacks on the international airport in Port-au-Prince. Minister of Public Works and Family Island Affairs Clay Sweeting says the ministry will meet its deadline on the infrastructural roadworks that total $198 million. At the office of the Prime Minister's weekly press briefing today, Minister Sweeting gave an update on works taking place on the Family Islands, highlighting major plans for Rock Sound Eleuthera.
Tomorrow, myself along with the Permanent Secretary, Luther Smith, and the team of the Ministry of Works we'll head into Rock Sound, where we will commission an asphalt plant for 163 miles of road. This venture is very significant and will be a major investment for Eleuthera and the Family Islands. It will also play a critical role in effectively and efficiently providing the necessary materials needed as contractors will take on the monumental task of reconstructing, rebuilding, paving, striping, and placing cat-eyes on the roads across Eleuthera. Tomorrow's contract signing will kickstart road construction as asphalt is expected to be laid in April. And I want to reiterate, it's asphalt, not sand and seal. So Eleuthera will be getting asphalt, and these initiatives will be well over the investment of $100 million in Eleuthera alone.
Minister Sweeting says motorists on New Providence can also expect to see major roadworks continue as they look to meet their 2024 targets.
An earmark for 2024 was 65 miles of arterial and community roads to be completed across the capital. To say the least, that is still the goal of the Ministry of Works Civil Design section. And in the month of March, works continue on Ballot Road, McKinney to Gladstone, with 300 tons remaining to be paved, and Christie Street between Bay and Shirley Streets, which is works in progress. Cost has not increased, and the total funding remains at $98,210,000, including VAT, and that's for New Providence alone. Sidewalk construction and drainage repairs is included in this total funding allocation.
Minister Sweeting said the Ministry of Public Works is continuing its efforts to modernize Bahamian infrastructure across several islands, while also focusing on improving paving and drainage systems throughout. In early February, Prime Minister Philip Davis revealed that after weeks of international bad press due to a spike in crime, there was a fall-off in hotel bookings, and that was confirmed by the Bahamas Hotel and Tourism Association. But just 1 month later, Deputy Prime Minister, the Minister of Tourism, Chester Cooper, says hotel occupancy rates have surged across the nation.
We are excited that the world recognized that the Bahamas is really a magnificent global destination. We, right now, have hotels running almost full occupancy in our country. Squaremont, who talks about monitoring spring breakers, identified Bahamas as the #1 destination in the world, beating out major destinations like Italy, like France, like Disney, like Mexico. Bahamas rated #1. We're going to continue this trend. We are going to tell our own story to the world. So notwithstanding travel advisories, notwithstanding a small spate of bad press in the international community, we're taking the bull by the horns.
Tuesday, at the Tourism Development Corporation's launch of the Pilot Incubator Center, the Deputy Prime Minister said the government's Tourism is Everybody's Business campaign, along with the launch of the Incubator Center, is a step in the right direction to ensure the success of the country's #1 industry. The Ministry of Education will host its National Youth Peace March and Rally. That's tomorrow, Friday, beginning at 10 a.m. at Clifford Park, featuring 9,000 students from public and private schools. Acting Director of School Management at the Ministry of Education, Janice Moss, explains that the youth of the Bahamas, they need a chance to be heard amidst the ongoing high levels of crime in country.
Our children speak out against the violence that our country is experiencing. And so we wanted their voices to be heard. We wanted them to be seen, because I think we have heard enough from the adults in our country. It's time for us to hear from our children. And they have made it extremely clear that they had enough of the violence.
Considering some tourists may still be apprehensive about vacationing in the Bahamas, Acting Director Moss says the Bahamas is a peaceful nation.
We have the Royal Bahamas Police Force working with us. We have our corporate sponsors. We have called the village to join hands with us and our children to send the message that the Bahamas is a peaceful nation. We work together. We are unified. We know how to live as one. After all, that is what this country was built on.
The Ministry of Education is focusing on conflict resolution with the peaceful protest, with the hopes that it will impact others to walk away from harmful situations. And finally, in this segment, as debate on the mid-year budget moves to the Senate, last week in the House of Assembly, Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, Mario Boleg, used a portion of his allotted time to address recent comments made by F&M National Vice Chairman and former Member of Parliament for Baines and Grantstown, Travis Robinson. In a voice note earlier this month, Robinson was critical of the government's handling of various national sporting stadiums, in particular the Betty K Swim Complex that will host the Carifta Swim Championships beginning in March 28th in fact. Here is what Robinson had to say.
Can you believe that with all the reckless spending on travel, parties, and political cronies that this PLP government is doing, the infrastructure for youth and sports development in the Bahamas continues to be neglected? Now, keep in mind, it was first announced in 2022 that the Bahamas will host the Carifta Aquatics Championship Games. So, as an excited Bahamian and a lover of swimming, I decided to go take a look at the progress being made at the National Swimming Complex. Well, mother sick. I couldn't believe my eyes. The 2 world-class swimming pools are still under construction. What a crying shame, man. The PLP government is failing sports and failing the Bahamian athletes in this country. The minister responsible for sports said last year in December that repairs to the pools are ahead of schedule. Well, I asked him what schedule and whose schedule is he talking about. Mr. Minister, the only way that complex is ahead of schedule is if the championship games is next year, 2025.
Robinson says he was reliably informed that repairs to the swim complex were behind schedule because the government has been late with mobilization funds. Now, Minister Bowleg, took exception to Robinson's comments and responded like this.
The ongoing upgrades to the Betty Kelly Kenning Aquatic Center and the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium remain in the spotlight. While some may have expressed concerns about the extended closure of the Betty Kelly Kenning Aquatic Center, we are elated to announce its remarkable transformation after comprehensive renovation and overhaul. Mr. Deputy Speaker, you know, it's mind-boggling to me when I see people who attire themselves from those opposite goes in social media and talk about the Progressive Liberal Party not doing anything for the young people or anything for athletes and sports in this country. I think that previous administration should be the last administration in the world, not just the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, to speak about what is being done by this Progressive Liberal Party under this Prime Minister and this Minister. They should never open their mouth when it speaks to that, because they did nothing to those facilities, and that's why we have to put in so much work. We have to put in so much work to get it done. That side over there have some cronies like to mislead the public. I see one fella that being in Grandstand beat so bad the last election, he put his head in the sand and we didn't see him no more. All of a sudden, he wake up and he talking about what has been done by this Progressive Liberal Party. Small boy shouldn't get in big man battle.
Minister Bowleg explained that the government only received requests by the Swim Federation to host the Carifta Championships in 2023. He said initially the closure of the swim complex was supposed to last a few months, but the scope of works necessary extended that to 7 months. He assured the public that repairs to the swim complex will be completed in time for the Carifta Swim Championships. We'll take a break here. We'll be right back after these commercials.